Hello. Hi, Catherine.
Hi,
Awesome.
Julie.
Yeah, thank you everyone for being here. So my name is Julie Kaukinen and I work with Access Conscious's social media team for Access Bars. And I really love talking with people like all around the world about how Access Bars, simple stress relief technique, contributes to people's lives, their businesses, their families, like the whole world. But yeah, I'm here today with Catherine Oster from St. Walburg, Saskatchewan. So I'm in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Catherine's just to the east of me, one province. But yeah, Catherine, thanks so much for doing this. Right on.
Thanks, Julie, for asking me. Yeah, so access bars. Oh my God.
I know. Yeah, where do you want to start? Where should we start?
I'm gonna go all the way back to the very first bar session that I received. It was back in October or November of 2013. So actually it's coming on to my 10-year
Oh,
anniversary of my very first session. I just realized that.
wow. Cool.
Um, and I remember like for whatever reason, access bars just kept popping out everywhere for me, whether it was on Facebook, like things that I saw, the words just kept popping and kept getting my attention. And I got really curious about what access bars was. And I just started Googling it and trying to look up like what is access bars. And for those of you that have taken a bars class and have been getting your bars run, there's not really a real clear definition of what access bars is. Um, and I was looking for that clear definition. So I actually probably researched access bars for like 5 or 6 months before I got my bars ran. And I finally found a practitioner in my area and reached out, booked a session, and I just showed up. I showed up for a session and the very first question she asked me while she started running my bars was if there was anything that I could have her change in my life in this moment, what would it be? And I remember literally being dumbstruck, like, "What? Like, you're asking me about something I wanna change in my life?" Like, it really I did not compute. But then I got really excited because 'cause I'm like, "You
Cool.
mean I can ask for something?"
Wow.
So, at that period in my life, I, just had my daughter. She was just a few months old, and, she, yeah, and there was just transition going on. I was working as an agronomist actually in crop supplies. So I would field scout crops for farmers and sell them fertilizer and stuff. But with kids and I farm with my family, it just got way too busy and I knew that there was something in my life that needed to change. And at that time I was kind of just starting to teach riding lessons like coaching. I'm a certified instructor with Equine Canada, and I was just starting to coach lessons back then. And I was always late for my lessons. Like, yes, I had 2 little kids to get ready, but at the same time, I felt like no matter what I did, I was always late.
Wow.
Whether I started getting ready like a half an hour early, I even remember getting ready an hour early so I could be on time, and I still just couldn't be on time. Like, it really
Wow.
felt like something that I struggled with, and I couldn't change it. And when she asked me that question in my first bar session, I'm like, I wanna change time. I talked about the story about how I was always late and I felt like I could never change it. And, she just started asking me some questions while she was running my bars, and she started using the access consciousness clearing statement, which I was like, "Okay," and, I'm not gonna lie, I had some doubts. I'm like, "This isn't really gonna change anything," but at the same time, I'm getting my bars ran and feeling really good. And I remember I was, like, smiling my whole session, like, I couldn't get the smile off my face, and I'm like, "Why am I smiling so much?" Anyway, so session's over, I carry on with my life as is, and I remember it was probably, like, 10 days or 2 weeks after my session, I'm driving to teach writing lessons, and I clearly remember looking at the clock and, like, I'm like, "Holy crap, I am early. I'm gonna be early for my writing lessons, and I didn't even try to change it. It literally just changed.
Wow.
And from that moment on, I was hooked. I'm like, whatever this shit is awesome, and I will have more.
Wow, wow. Talk about time management, like, revolution, hey?
Yes, it was
Wow,
such a revolution.
wow.
So yeah, so I continued. I took my first bars class in 2014 and I started offering sessions, and then I became a bars facilitator. And then I chose to become a CF in 2018, and so it's been like a decade of really amazing, magical stuff, with bars and all of the things.
Wow,
Um, yeah, and I
cool.
really what I also really love is being able to use access bars with my family. So when I became a bars facilitator, a lot of my family took bars classes, like my sister-in-law I don't and just like a lot of close friends and family started coming to bars classes, seeing what it was all about. Now, I mentioned that my husband and I, we have a family farm. So we also farm with my brother-in-law. So my husband, his brother, they farm together, and then I'm my husband's wife, obviously, and my brother-in-law, his wife. So there's the 4 of us. And, they my sister-in-law came to my bars classes, and she started running her husband's bars, and our family farm, like, the way we work together can create together in the field, um, like, talking about business and money and farm finances and making farm choices, I know that the simple fact that we all get our bars ran contributes to way more ease. Like, we actually have fun together, which we
Wow.
often joke about being weird because that's not often the case with family working together. So bars is a huge, huge gift to that. I know that we wouldn't be farming together if it wasn't for the tool of
Wow.
active bars.
Wow, wow. Well, and talk about, like, because bars dissipates points of views, like the polar, like, both sides of it. So it's like just makes it, yeah, more space for all the points of views to be allowed. And yeah,
Yeah,
well, cool,
yeah,
awesome. Well, and Catherine, how about your son? I know we were talking
yeah.
about him too.
Yes, so he's 13 now, and he loves baseball. He's not I wouldn't say he's the most super athletic kid. Like, he's a farm kid that just loves to be he's not one of those super athletes, but he loves baseball. And he signed up this year and they started fastball. So it's like kind of a whole different ball game. And he was struggling the first couple weeks of his ball season. He wasn't hitting any balls. Like he just couldn't, the timing was off, whatever. And he was starting to get a little bit down on himself and get a little frustrated, like, Mom, I just want to hit the ball. And I'm like, okay, like how about if I run your bars later? It was, like, after a practice, and he's like and I
Wow,
hadn't ran his bars for, like, a few months for sure.
yeah,
And he's like, "Okay, sure, let's do that." And
cool.
so, running his bars, and we're just watching, like, one of his programs that he likes to watch, and then I just started asking him questions, like, about hitting the ball. It wasn't really anything serious. It was just about, like, "Well, do you think if you relaxed a little bit more while you were up there?" Or, like, just things like that, and running his bars. And then that was kind of it, and he went to bed, and the next game was a few days away. We didn't talk about anything after that about hitting the ball, but he showed up, his ball game, first batter on, and he hits the ball, first pitch, and he was like the look on his face, he was so shocked, he didn't even know, he was
Oh,
like and then he ran, and he made it, and literally the rest of his ball season, he just was hitting pretty consistently, like, there would be some times where he would miss, but he
wow,
never when he would miss, he wouldn't get stuck in the feeling of blame, shame, regret, and guilt of when he would miss the ball. He would just be like, "Oh, okay, whatever, I'm gonna go again and give it a try," like and then yeah, and he had so much fun, and
wow,
it's like the magic that shows up from bars or with bars, you can say, "Well, you don't know that that created that change," and the truth is you don't really know, but why not try it and see what it can create for you and, what if
wow.
magic and change really can be that easy.
Wow. Well, and that's the whole thing. It's so simple. You actually think that this possibly couldn't be doing anything, and it does.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, Catherine, that's so awesome to hear. Cause it's like with, especially imagine anyone doing any sports, you know, like how hard we are on ourselves and like the amount of judgment of like, I'm bad or I'm terrible or awful if I can't like hit the ball or do this, right? And when we do bars, it's like it gets rid of all your points of views about whatever topic it is. So then you can just go into this sport or go into this baseball and like be free and clear and actually have more play and more fun. Like, what a total gift. What a total gift for everyone. And then, and also for you, because it's like, of course, you know, you see your son kind of like floundering and you just want to help. And it's like, what a gift. And like, no, and it was simple. It's not like he had to go to like long-term counseling or something, you know, like it was just so, and he also chose it. Like, how cool.
Yes,
How
he
cool.
also chose it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is such a gift to be able to be that with your kids or with your family, to offer the possibilities of just simply running their bars. Like, how
Wow.
do you get better than that?
No, that's amazing. Well, and like Catherine, how do you like how have you seen how it contributes to your life story, like with the horse stuff?
Yeah, so yeah, getting out of so I'm also a horse trainer and I'm a dressage coach, and I also compete
Wow.
myself in dressage classes and
No judgment in dressage, right? Ha ha.
oh yeah,
Ha
the
ha.
perfect, right, good, perfect, and correct dressage horse and rider, um, which can really lead to a lot of force and effort and contraction, which then leads to a lot of fight with the horses and struggle. And
Wow.
it's interesting. So, what I found
Cool.
bars has allowed me to be and do with the horses, with my horse, is to get out of the judgment and start like having more fun together, getting out of the control of training and allowing the contribution that the horse can be to me and that I can be to the horse to show up, which starts to create that relationship where you see like a horse and rider out in the dressage ring, like actually having fun together and not one controlling the other from force.
I have
Yeah.
goosebumps. That's so beautiful. It's like what a total communion, you know?
Yeah.
Like, wow.
That's totally what it is. Yeah.
Wow. Well, and like talk, I know like a lot of people do like for just mental health stuff, like, you know, equine facilitated healing, that kind of stuff. So and it's funny, bars just has such a, just this unique magic to it that, you know, dissolves all point of view so that anything can be possible. Like,
Yes. Yeah. And it's amazing what a point of view that like if a person or a coach has a point of view about what this horse can do, what it can't do, what it has to be, what it can't be, how much that actually affects the horse and
man,
how much the horse is they're so responding to energy. So the moment you can change that point of view, that the rider has or that I have as a coach or that my coach has about me, then something different can show up, which is totally magic before the eyes. And with my, I do run some of my clients' bars that compete in dressage as well. And some of them I don't. They know that I do this. And if they are wanting, like, if they're wanting something, they'll know if bars is going to contribute to them. And they'll just ask me, like, hey, Catherine, do you think we could have a bar session today instead of a riding lesson? And I'm like, sure,
man,
let's do that.
cool. Wow. Well, that's brilliant. Well, and like Catherine, how often do you get your bars run then?
Like once a week is kind of
Cool.
my target. If it can happen more than that, awesome. And
Cool.
sometimes I'll even like if it can't be for 2 or 3 weeks. I honestly have just started to the last couple of years, like to let my body show me when it's time.
Cool.
And literally somebody will message me, "Hey, let's get together for bars," or I'll just know and I'll have the space because there's so many things in my life going on simultaneously. There's the farm, the horses, the kids, that when I try to control my schedule too much, it often doesn't work. But when I'm like, "Hey, body, you let me know when it's time for a bar session," and honestly, I'll have like riding lessons cancel in a day, and then I'm like, "Oh, I could get my bars ran today instead. So then I'll like,
Oh,
and it'll literally work out. I'll be able to message somebody like, yeah, and let's do bars. And I'm like, okay, awesome. So this is my body. And that's, I guess, another gift that bars has opened me up to is allowing my body to contribute to my life. It's
wow.
that.
Instead of being like the enemy that you're fighting against all the time, like a
Yes,
lot of people. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Well, and Catherine, do you feel kind of feel how I do sometimes where if there's no one around to run your bars, by you running your bars on your husband or your kids, you also just receive that magical peace?
Yes, exactly. That is
Yeah.
the beauty of that. Yeah. You will
No,
receive the change when you gift a bar session as well.
no, that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, Catherine, well, thank you so much for joining me today and having a little chat about all this. That's awesome. You know, and what a cool um like time management magical tool.
Right?
Yeah. And especially with everything, because it's like I know you have your access business with like the farm and everything else that you have going on. And it's like how cool that you can keep adding to your life. And it's not like I can only do the farm, so I can't have, my own like life,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and that's like brilliant because a lot of people think that they have to choose one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, that would be the gift of getting my bars ran, letting go of those points of view that I can only do this or I can only do that, and allowing you to jump into everything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's magical. That's magical. Here, let me find my banners here. So
Okay.
yeah, so thank you everyone for watching. And if anyone who is listening has not experienced an Access Bar session, go to accessconsciousness.com/free your mind, and you can basically find someone in your area, neck of the woods in the world, where you can just try a bar session. So it's like, and if you're in a big city, even out of town, there's bars people everywhere. So don't just assume that because you're in, a very small town or something. Yeah, there might be like a whole new community of people just really close. So basically, we're working up to it, and it's only a few weeks away. So every year we take one day a year to celebrate magical access bars. So this brilliant stress relief technique. I love it. It's like mental health 101. I think it should be like the mental health workshop that is just incorporated into everyone's lives, but that's just me. But yeah, October 21st, there's like 13 hours of stream content about we're sharing stress relief techniques, stories like Catherine and I have been talking about how bars, the stress relief technique is actually contributing to people around the world. And then the day after that, if you're wanting to learn how to do this amazing stress relief technique, Dr. Dane here, the co-creator of Access, is doing the only global Access Bars class online, and that's October 22nd. So you can go to accessconsciousness.com/bars for more about that. But yeah, Catherine, thank you so much for joining me. Love chatting with you.
Thank you,
We're,
Julie. Me
we're
too.
so close, but so far in Canada
I
here.
know.
No, that's awesome. Okay, well, and it's also Canadian Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, Catherine.
Thanksgiving.
That's awesome. I know we were gonna do this yesterday, and then your cows got out. I know it's
I
not funny,
know.
but I was laughing.
I know. I was kind of laughing too. I'm like, of course they get out today. Julie, can we change this? And Julie's like, yes, of course we can.
That's
So,
awesome. Well, at least they're all home safe and sound now. The ones that actually want to be. So that's great.
yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, well, happy Thanksgiving, Catherine, and thanks so much everyone for watching. Bye.